Lucius is finally dead. The final war has ended, and for the first time in a long while, the world is allowed to breathe again. The kingdom stands in ruins, but it stands free. In front of everyone, across nations and borders, Asta and Yuno are acknowledged not just as heroes, but as something entirely new. Wizard Kings, standing at a power tier that transcends everything that came before it. Supreme. And yet, despite how monumental this ending is, it didn't unite the fandom. It split it clean down the middle. Some people call it one of the greatest payoffs in modern shonen. Others argue it exposes the series' biggest weaknesses all at once, and both sides aren't wrong, because the Black Clover finale is loud, emotional, thematic, and ambitious, but it's also messy, rushed, and in certain places, painfully flawed. To really understand it, you have to break it apart piece by piece, not just look at what happened, but why it happened the way it did. The final battle immediately makes one thing clear. This is no longer a conventional fight. Reality itself is struggling to keep up. Asta and Yuno move so fast that Lucius's regeneration can't even activate properly. He's bleeding, something that shouldn't be possible at this stage. The rules he believed govern the universe are actively collapsing in front of him. Both protagonists reach their ultimate state by doing something the story has been building towards since the beginning. They don't just synchronize with their partners, they become one with them. Asta and Liba fully merge, body, will, and purpose aligned without resistance. Yuno and Belle do the same, their minds overlapping in perfect harmony. These aren't power-ups born from rage or desperation. They're the result of trust, rivalry, and years of shared growth. That rivalry is the key, not hatred, not jealousy, a promise. Two abandoned children in a broken church, vowing that one of them would become Wizard King and that the other would never be left behind. Every step forward they ever took was fueled by that understanding. And now, at the peak of the world, that bond allows them to reach a level Lucius never accounted for. For the first time, Lucius is afraid. His arms are torn apart. His control slips. He openly acknowledges that their fusion is working against him. This power isn't something he calculated. Across tens of thousands of futures, he believed fighting them would be effortless. And yet here he is, cornered by the very variables he dismissed. Lucius's greatest flaw resurfaces once again. He doubles down. He insists Yuno is the true rival, clinging to the belief that Asta is only relevant as a catalyst, that Yuno would never have reached this height without him. It's the same mistake he's made repeatedly, reducing people to statistics, treating growth as something linear and predictable. To prove his superiority, Lucius floods the battlefield with monsters made from every magic attribute imaginable. Beasts born from an absurdly infinite supply of power. He absorbed every grimoire from the tower. He unified the devils. His resources should be bottomless. On paper, this should be overwhelming. But power alone has never defined the Wizard King. Asta and Yuno erase everything in their path effortlessly. The monsters vanish before they can even register as threats. And then the real blow lands, not physically, but ideologically. Lucius declares himself humanity's savior, the one who will guide the world to perfection. And yet, no one responds to him. The entire world is watching. Kings, civilians, magic knights, everyone sees the truth. No one acknowledges Lucius as their leader. Instead, all eyes are on Asta and Yuno. That moment encapsulates the core message Black Clover has carried since Chapter 1. The Wizard King isn't chosen by power, he's chosen by the people. Julius wasn't respected because he was invincible. He was respected because people believed in him. When Asta first asked how to become Wizard King, the answer wasn't strength, it was merit. Lucius wanted to rule from above, a god deciding humanity's fate. Asta and Yuno stand among the people, changing the world alongside them. Freedom versus control, growth versus stagnation. The battle escalates to an absurd scale. They blitz across the sky, leaving speed constellations in their wake. Entire sections of the country collapse from the force of their movement. Eventually, their coordination falters. Asta tanks a collapsing structure, Yuno bursts through it to land a hit, and in that moment, Yuno says something that defines his entire character. Lucius isn't his rival. Asta is. From the very beginning, that was always true. Their rivalry was never about crushing the other, it was about forcing each other to rise, surpassing limits together, standing at the top side by side. Then the power scale shatters completely. Lucius declares he has reached beyond ultimate. He has entered the supreme realm, acknowledged by existence itself. This is the same man who absorbed Astaroth, 100% Lucifer, every other devil, every grimoire, and the full might of the Dark Triad. And now Asta and Yuno are standing on equal ground. This has massive implications. It means every prior enemy is completely irrelevant. No captain, no knight, no force in the world can touch them. Lucius could wipe out the entire cast, and only these two could stop him. It retroactively confirms something Asta once said. He didn't want to be Wizard King until he could defeat every threat on his own. That time has arrived. Lucius can't accept it. When Yuno declares that magic power has nothing to do with why he stands beside Asta, Lucius loses it completely. He unleashes everything. An overwhelming storm of magic meant to reassert hierarchy, to prove that strength defines worth. Asta cuts through all of it. He speaks not just for himself, but for everyone crushed by a system that decided they were lesser. He acknowledges the despair, frustration, and pain of being born without magic, but he never asked for salvation. Never ask someone else to decide his value. Imperfection isn't something to erase, it's what gives life meaning. Freedom matters more than safety dictated by force. Lucius is exposed as a fraud, a villain with absolute power but no one willing to follow him. And yet the fight isn't over. They chase him across the country as people cheer them on, begging them to finish it. Yuno charges an arrow to its absolute limit. Asta manifests the largest black sword ever seen. The demon dweller reaches the sky and cleaves Lucius' creation in half. The message is clear even without words. Peasants, nobles, royals, and knights are united for the first time. Not under fear, under hope. Lucius stalls. He knows their transformations have limits. Time is his last ally. And that's when the final piece moves into place. Noelle. Out of every character, her arc reaches the most complete resolution. She reconciles with her past, her family, and herself. She gains full control over her magic, surpassing the psychological chains that held her back. And now, empowered by anti-magic, she creates the opening they need. She fires a precision-guided anti-magic attack that pierces Lucius's core, the decisive opening. Julius appears, restraining his twin long enough for Asta and Yuno to finish it. Lucius is split apart, defeated at last. And here's where the criticism becomes unavoidable. Lucius is conceptually incredible. His introduction was one of the strongest twists in modern shonen, but his execution collapses. Despite infinite prep time, future sight, and overwhelming power, his strategy boils down to spamming attacks. He ignores time magic. He ignores guaranteed victory moments. His arrogance turns him into a static obstacle instead of a dynamic threat. Context matters, though. The author was exhausted, personal tragedy, editorial loss, limited chapters, a forced conclusion. The ambition remained, but the runway didn't. Lucius ultimately represents domination through power. Asta and Yuno represent growth through struggle. His failure is thematically consistent, even if mechanically sloppy. In the aftermath, Julius revives the entire country using stored magic. It's his final act. Everyone returns, casualties undone. A controversial choice, but one aligned with the series' tone. Julius entrusts the future to the next generation. Asta and Yuno have earned enough merit. The world celebrates, not because it's perfect, but because it's free. The story closes the loop. An imperfect journey defended over forced peace. A future shaped by choice, not prophecy. Two wizard kings representing balance, struggle and responsibility, hope and legacy. The ending isn't flawless, but it understands its message, and that, more than anything, is why it lands.